Hello everyone, Coach Chris here with another video. Today I have a question. How do you eat an elephant? And that's a metaphor that applies to engaging in something that we feel is quite overwhelming and maybe even impossible to accomplish. Of course, we don't want to use the word impossible because anything's possible, but how do you eat an elephant is referring to, let's use physical fitness as an example. If it's been a while since you worked out, or if you have to lose 50 pounds or 70 pounds or whatever amount of weight that might be, or if it's just been a while since you actually, did some physical activity, sometimes people feel like, what's the use? What's the purpose? I have come so far out of shape that it'll take forever to get in shape. I might as well just continue to do what I'm doing. Well, when you look at an elephant and try to eat an elephant, it may be an overwhelming task, but if you decide to eat it one bite at a time, which is actually the answer, how to eat an elephant, you eat it one bite at a time, then with working out, you just take it one day at a time. One day at a time. Martin Luther King said the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. And there's probably hundreds, if not thousands, of other metaphors that, talk about the same thing. Taking the first step, not looking at the overwhelming aspect of what the goal actually is, but just taking it one step at a time, because each step gets you a little bit closer to your goal. And so I think the most important thing is to get started. And that means you don't even have to do a whole lot to start. Start means to move in the direction that you want to move towards. And so if that's taking one step a day, I have a metaphor that I like to use for training, which is building a house. You build a house one brick at a time. But if you decide you want to build a house and then you don't do anything each day that passes, another day or another opportunity that you could have laid some bricks and you didn't. So if you look at the property or the land that you have at the end of the year and there's no bricks laid because each day you said, I'll start tomorrow, and maybe your neighbor decided to build a house and went down and put a brick down every day. One brick a day is still more than nothing. So again, the main point is to get started. It's really that simple. It doesn't have to be a lot, because every step that you take is moving you closer to where you're trying to get to. So whether that's going to school, then you just have to maybe do research on the school you want to go to, look at the topics you might be interested in taking, and then go on and register for school, and then maybe start with one class, or whatever the case may be. But you have to start. And even thinking about the process is a starting point. I was talking to a client today about exercise in general. We know that talk is cheap, so some things you don't even really have to say. It's just when you do them enough, you will have a psychological shift, meaning your mind will recognize that you are striving for a goal, and of course your mind is part of your body. So when you start to move toward your goal, then your attitude, your mentality, your mindset will shift and align with your goals. So sometimes if you want to think about it, we like to say sometimes people talk themselves out of doing stuff. Talk yourself out of going to the gym, or talk yourself out of getting up off the couch and going for a walk, or talk yourself out of, doing some type of stretching or whatever type of activity is going to benefit you, but you talk yourself out of it just by sitting there thinking too long. So sometimes you don't need to think, you just need to do. There's a time to think and there's a time to do. But as I just said, when you do it enough, then you start getting in the habit of doing it. And then you don't have to think about it at all. It's just something that you do. And there's other physiological changes that will occur within your body. Neurological adaptation, there's hormones that are released, there's endorphins that are released, there's an attitude change. So there's a lot that happens just by taking the first step. And like I said, the first step doesn't have to be a lot. It's you can even think about it as developing a habit. Once you start doing something over and over and over, then it becomes a habit. And then you can expand on that habit. So for example, let's just say you decide you're going to get in the habit of walking every day, but you really don't like walking, so maybe just walk 5 minutes a day. You walk 5 minutes a day for 30 days, you will have got yourself in the habit of walking, and then you can increase the time from 5 minutes to 8 minutes to 10 minutes and so on and so forth. So get started. That's the key. So how do you eat an elephant? You eat an elephant one bite at a time. Don't look at the whole thing. Don't try to eat the whole thing at once. Just take the first step and then progress from there. So I know this is simple information, but sometimes we forget how simple things can be, and we just need to be reminded that it doesn't take a whole lot to get started. Getting started can be, as I said, as simple as doing the research or taking 5 minutes out of your day, getting off your butt for 5 minutes, or whatever else the case may be. But starting is the key. Stay well and share the knowledge. I'll talk to you soon.